I think this is a young enough audience that I can suggest that all of you spend some time on the internet looking at the great discussion and debate around the world about what has changed. We have become more global, but we have wider gaps and opportunities. And you will also find that under the leadership of the MasterCard Foundation has become an example of care and work that can make a difference in the world. So it is an honor to present this award on behalf of all my colleagues at the World Affairs Council to the chairman of the MasterCard Foundation.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you again to the World Affairs Council of Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for honoring us and for honoring the MasterCard Foundation. It's especially humbling because we are a very new foundation. We were created, as the video mentioned a moment ago, less than 9 years ago. And we were created out of an extraordinary event. It was when MasterCard, the company, became a public company. It was one of the, it will probably be recognized as one of the most successful IPOs of its time. And the leadership of the company at that time wanted to take some of the wealth from that IPO and endow a foundation so it would do good in the world. So they did that. And what came of an original gift of $500 million today is worth well over $11 billion. So we have been very, very lucky. The second gift was a household name, so we would have instant recognition. And perhaps the most precious gift of all was a gift of independence. They chose not to make us a corporate foundation, but a private, independent foundation. And that means that our governance, our board of directors, our management team, our employees are completely separate from the company. But it is that gift of independence which gave us the freedom and the focus to pursue our own vision to alleviate poverty. And so we envision a world where all people have the opportunity to learn and to prosper. And we believe in the incredible, extraordinary capacity of human beings, once provided the opportunity, provided the tools that they need to change their own lives, change the lives of people they love, and to change their communities. And so our foundation invests in those tools, and those tools happen to be expanding access to financial services for the poor and investing heavily in education to prepare young people for an increasingly global economy. When we started out early on, we asked ourselves, where is it that we can have the greatest impact, given our resources and given our areas of focus? And very, very quickly, we decided that we would concentrate our effort, our energy, our time in Africa. And so I wanted to speak to you a little bit about why Africa. I know that many of you are familiar with the African narrative, and it is not the story that we read about in the media. I'm speaking about a dynamic, vast, amazing continent, which is today home to 6 of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world. It is rapidly a destination for foreign investment. It is the second fastest growing mobile technology market in the world. At the same time, economic growth alone does not herald progress. Growth, unless it is inclusive growth, does not lift all tides and does not include all people. And so the situation today is that while, despite this growth, there are millions of people who are being left behind on the continent. And if you examine more closely, you recognize that this is a very young continent. There are 600 million people who are under the age of 25, and the vast majority of them live at or below poverty. And so over the last few years, our foundation has invested about $1.4 billion across 25 countries in the continent. We've invested in advancing financial inclusion, and we've also invested in education. And indeed, education represents more than half of what we have committed to date. Now, I know all of you know the story of education, and you know it from your own lives. You know that an investment in education is nothing short of a catalytic investment, an investment which creates multiplier effects. We know that education is transformational. It's transformational for the one who benefits directly. It's transformational for the family. But we also know from the data that the private and the public returns to education not only rise and create opportunities and increase incomes, but it also enables countries to grow and to make progress. We at the Foundation also believe that when you invest in education, you help shape the destiny of leaders. And so we believe in education primarily for the opportunity it offers us to create a next generation of leaders, leaders who will be part of Africa's economic as well as social transformation. And I think of one leader tonight, a young man by the name of Joseph Munyambanza. Joseph grew up in the DRC, but he had to flee when he was 6 years old, and he ended up growing up in the Changwali refugee camp in western Uganda. He always says that his leadership journey began in that refugee camp. When he was 14 years old, he and a few friends began an organization to support primary education in the camp, and eventually they mobilized around secondary education outside of the camp. Now, Providence, you could say, luck intervened, and Joseph had an opportunity himself to attend the African Leadership Academy. And in time, he won a scholarship, and he attended Westminster University in the United States. Now, last month, Joseph graduated. His dream is still to make a difference with the organization he started in Uganda, but more importantly, to commit his life to service. I'm so proud that Joseph is a MasterCard Foundation Scholar. Now, the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship Program is our single largest initiative. It is a commitment of $500 million over the next decade to enable 15,000 young people access secondary and higher education. But more than that, more than just a scholarship, it is an investment in mentoring, in career counseling, in internship opportunities. It's an investment in creating that next generation of leaders, who I know many of you, and just from what several of the other speakers have shared a deep, deep commitment in the belief in what young people can do. And we believe strongly what young Africans can do. Given the opportunity to apply their ingenuity, their commitment, their energies, they will confront, but they will also have the opportunity to solve many of the most pressing problems that not only face Africa, but indeed face all of us, whether from climate change to food security, to human rights challenges, to governance. So I want to thank the Council tonight for honoring our foundation, but I most importantly want to thank you for lifting up the cause of education. Thank you so much.